3 months, yes, 3 months is all it took for me to stop being a lazy piece of shit, out of shape, low output, low motivation, low work ethic bum and become a productivity god. Yes, you heard that right. I said God. God! You're a real humble guy, aren't you there, Glass? Well, yes, I like to think so. But anyway, I did all that through Dopamine Detox, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I doubled my revenue targets, exceeded any other rep in terms of output, produced more content than I ever have, lose 35 pounds, all while still maintaining a little bit of a social life, and it was all possible through Dopamine Detox. Now let's digress here for a little bit. You may be sitting there thinking like, Glass, what is Dopamine Detox and why would I use that to increase my productivity? And I'm glad you asked, and I'm gonna keep this real short, no midget. Bars. Let's start here. Most people I know have no problem scrolling TikTok and Instagram for hours on end. Most people I know have no problem sitting down on the couch and watching a whole Netflix special. They got no problem doing it. Most people I know have no problem going out every single weekend, Thursday through Sunday, getting blacked out and drinking every time they go out. And most guys I know have no problem visiting the hub 2 to 3 times a day. It's just what it is. But can they read a book for 2 hours straight? Can they motivate themselves to do what is good for them? Can they hold a conversation without being distracted? Can these guys even focus on the things that they know for a fact will take them to the next level? Probably not. But hell, if I'm being honest, I really wasn't that much better. Not too long ago, I found myself really struggling to find motivation to go after the goals that I had set for myself. I found myself really having low energy when it came to doing anything towards my goal, or at least that's what I thought. I thought I had low energy, but the truth is when it came to going out with my friends and drinking and going out and getting girls, my energy was sky high. I had a lot of energy. So I guess I just didn't have energy for the right thing. But the point is, I was really in a spot where I was starting to prioritize short-term fun instead of things that would provide me long-term value. So I had to make something shake. But before I tell you guys how I turned myself from a lazy bum to a productivity god, yes, I said it, God, I'm going to let you guys know why I chose to use Dopamine Detox as the method to get myself to run through a brick wall for my goals. Now, I've done all the experiments, no fab, semen retention, meditate for 30 days, cold showers for 30 days, you name it, I've done it all. But this time around, I was looking for a little bit more of a punch, a little bit more of a kick. And it wasn't until I heard about this experiment that I thought like, I think I could turn this from a bad thing into a good thing. But anyway, okay, I'll get to it, relax. There was an experiment done in the 1950s that basically demonstrated all the shebang about dopamine. In the experiment, these little rats were trained to push this little button, and anytime they pushed this button, they would get some stimulation to the brain that would cause a huge surge of dopamine. Basically, every time they pushed the button, these rats would have a little rat orgasm. The problem is they found out that these rats would just keep pushing the button. They would keep pushing the button until they literally fell out exhausted. It even got to the point where they would not eat unless the food was put directly into their mouth. Yes, you heard that right. These rats would literally rather push the orgasm button than survive. And that's not even the worst part. The cruel, mad little scientists had to make it even worse for the rats. So they placed this little electric rat trap thing right in between the rats and the orgasm button. And what they found out is that the rats would go through a ridiculous amount of pain to still get to that orgasm button. But what's even crazier is they gave the rats a choice. They gave the rats a choice to go get some delicious food and they wouldn't have to run over the little electric rat trap, or they could run over the electric rat trap and go back to the orgasm button. And you already know what they chose. Yes, that's right. They still chose the orgasm button. That's insane to me. But at the same time, when I read that, that's when I realized I can use this. I figured that if I put myself in a dopamine deprived state to where the only way I could get dopamine was for me to work on my goals, then maybe I could have my own little rat orgasm button. My goals could be my little orgasm button. Man, what? Don't judge me. Everybody loves orgasm. Okay, I'm really getting distracted here. Look, this is how I turned myself into a productivity guy. The first thing I did was became aware of all my wasted time. You know I always say this. If you're not aware of it, you cannot change it. So the first thing I did was looked at the screen time feature on my iPhone and saw just exactly how much time I was wasting doing all this other stuff. And it was a real slap in the face. But you know what? I needed to see it. Then I wrote down all of my activities from the past 2 weeks and I was even more disgusted with myself. Turns out that 60 to 75% of the stuff that I was doing was not actually leading me towards my goals. Like, what the hell was I doing? What was I thinking? How do I say I want to go to this goal, but 70% of the stuff I'm doing ain't leading me to that goal? It just don't make any sense. And again, to see these things in plain sight was horrifying, but it's exactly what I needed to see. It motivated me to get going and really make a change. The next thing I did was created some friction between me and my vices. It is well known that a key strategy to breaking any habit is to make it harder for yourself to do that. Put some friction in between you and that habit. You see, the brain is always looking for the path of least resistance. It's always looking for a shortcut. So if you make something harder for yourself, the brain is probably gonna get frustrated and it's just gonna try to do something else. So I listed out all the low quality dopamine activities that I I was gonna get rid of, then I found a way to make those things harder for myself to do. With my phone, I left it in my bedroom during the day, I put it in the drawer, and I turned it on airplane mode. With my computer, I fully, and I mean fully, blocked access to all the sites that I would normally go to just for fun. With junk food, I really can't be tempted, so I just threw all of it out. I just said, you gotta get up out of here. With social media, I deleted it all together, and with dating, I deleted all the dating apps, and plus I didn't have any social media, so I couldn't hop in any girls' DMs, so that really took care of that problem for me. There were also some other things that I did, but I'm not gonna name everything here. The point is, all the vices that I had, all the things I wanted to stop doing, I made it really hard, I mean damn near impossible for me to do those things. Basically, I burned the ships. There was no going back. The next step I took was making sure I perform high quality dopamine activities first. First off, a high quality dopamine activity for me is something that will provide me long-term happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment. Something like going to the gym. And obviously a low quality dopamine activity is the exact opposite. It's something like watching Pornhub, something like that. But after I was able to reflect on my life and really take a look, I realized that I had a tendency to always push the hard things, or the ones that will make the most impact on my life, back to the end of the day. I would always somehow push them off. And so I guess I was just in the beginning of the day doing all this easy stuff to make it seem like I was busy, to make it feel like I was productive. And in all actuality, I wasn't doing the things that was gonna get me the most results. So basically I was working hard, but I wasn't working hard in the right areas. So, I made another change, and I decided to start eating the frog first. So after my morning routine, I would list out 3 of the most important things I had to do that day, the things that will make the most impact. And it actually really worked out for me, because it turns out that I have the most energy in the beginning of my day, in the morning. So it turns out that I would do the hard stuff, the stuff that really meant the most to me, when I had the most energy. I know it sounds like it's simple, but it makes a lot of sense. Do the hard stuff, do the important stuff when you have a lot of energy, versus pushing it off to the end of the day when you're tired, you don't want to do nothing, and then you're looking at that hard to-do list and you're like, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna push it off to tomorrow. I know it may seem simple, but that little switch alone made a world of difference for me. After that, I took it a step further and started rewarding myself for doing high quality dopamine activities. It's crazy, because after doing just a little bit of tinkering, I found that those low quality dopamine activities like social media, fast food, all the other stuff like that, I found out that they can do a little bit more than just harm you or hurt you. They can be used for good if you do it in the right way. You see, you can actually use those low quality dopamine activities as a reward, as a way to entice yourself, as a way to motivate you to do something. Basically, you can use the hard things that you always crave as a reward for completing hard work. So basically what I did was I would track all the hard work that I had done, and I would give myself a reward like watching an hour of YouTube at the end of the day. So I was so motivated, because I was so deprived of YouTube and all the stuff I love to do, that I wanted to complete that hard work just so I can get my hour of YouTube. I need my YouTube. I love YouTube, bro. I spend too much time on here. But anyway, I would also make deals with myself, like if I'm fully consistent with this habit for the entire week, then you can go out with your boys. You can spend some time with your boys. You can go hang out with friends. I will reward myself like that as well. Now, obviously, the key thing here is not to overdo it. You can definitely overdo it, but it doesn't hurt to reward yourself with a little bad behavior every once in a while, just to shake things up. And then finally, the last thing I did was reflect on ways that I could make the process or the journey a lot more fun. I think this step is huge, guys, because at the end of the day, if you don't find a way to make things fun, then you just gonna grind yourself to dust. You're gonna hate your life. So it was pretty simple for me. At the end of my week, I'd do some reflecting and then ask myself some questions, really just to stir up some thought, really get me thinking about how I can make this whole process a lot more fun. So I'd ask myself, how can I make this hard task more fun? Which one of your daily habits bring you the most joy? What are some good reward ideas for completing hard tasks? What will your life be like if you can be consistent with these things for a whole year? Now, those are just a few of the questions I would ask myself. There's obviously more, but the whole point of this was just to get me thinking about ways I can make this grueling process, this grueling grind, a lot more fun. But I digress. All in all, these 5 steps were what allowed me to take myself from a lazy bum to a productivity god and really just increase my output. And that increased output led to me hitting some really big milestones in my life. But as always, guys, hope you found value in this video. And if you did, help your boy out. Please, I'm trying to grow the channel. Go ahead and hit the like, hit the sub, hit the bell, join the gang, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. You know what it is, your boy Glasses out. Peace.